Hello, thank you for joining me today. I've got a winter warming practice for you, so it's going to help you warm up from the inside out. I heard it's a little bit chilly in the UK right now, so this one will hopefully help you feel a little bit more cozy. I'm in Greece, which is definitely not as cold as the UK, but it's starting to turn a little bit. But hopefully I can send you some warmth through the screen. So I use some blocks in this one, so if you've got them, you might want to have them to hand. Otherwise you can use kind of pillows, books, whatever you've got close by, but you can also do it without any props as well. So when you're ready, we'll get into it. All right, we're going to start this one standing. So bring your feet about hip width apart, or maybe a little bit wider. We're going to start by just swinging the arms around, twisting around, loosening up through the body a little bit, starting to get things moving. And you can turn the head all the way around. If you find that's making you a bit dizzy, then feel free to just keep the head forwards, swinging the arms around. And you can let the feet move a little bit, coming up onto the toes. And you can go as fast or as slow as you want to here. Moving faster is going to get you warmed up a little bit quicker. But if you're feeling a bit cold and stiff, then starting slow is maybe better. Good. Maybe just starting to notice what the breath is doing. Maybe seeing if we can start to make the breath a little bit more expansive. So breathing down into the belly, in between the ribs, trying to fill up this torso area with the breath and then letting it go on the exhale. Just stay here for a few more breaths. Lovely, and then you can start to come back to center. Let the arms drop down by your sides. Good. And then bring the feet back underneath the hips if they moved out. And we're going to take a few rounds of breath of joy. So if you've not done this with me before, I'll just talk through it. And we take 3 sips of air in, ideally through the nose, but feel free, nose or mouth, whatever works for you today. And as we breathe in, we're going to move the arms. So our first sip, the arms come out in front. Second sip in, arms come out to the side. And then third sip in, arms come to the top. On the exhale, we swing the arms down behind us, dropping the chest down towards the thighs. And then we start again. So I'll just demonstrate. We'll go. Just like that. So 3 sips of air in and then a big sigh out through the mouth out. See how you get on. And if you find that it's too much coming all the way down, you can just swing the arms back, bring the chest forwards, but keep the head lifted. But see how you get on. We'll do maybe 5 to 10 rounds, warm ourselves up. Feel free to stop at any time if this doesn't feel good for you. But when you're ready, standing firmly on the ground, then inhale, exhale. Let's make this the last one. And then just come back to standing. Swing the arms. Just let them fall back down by your sides. Maybe closing the eyes or softening the gaze down towards the floor. Just noticing how the body's feeling now. Are we feeling a little bit warmer? Can you feel your heart beating a little bit faster? And just let the breath return to normal. Then when we're ready, We're going to come to the front of the mat, and we're just going to take a couple of rounds through a basic sun salutation. So again, bring your feet hip width apart, or you might want to bring them all the way together. Finding steady footing, maybe shifting the weight around the feet, just starting to feel into the feet. Good, and then bring it back to center, finding your center of gravity. And then from here, just bending the knees slightly, tucking the tailbone under, just gently hugging the ribs in, opening up through the chest, and reaching the crown of the head all the way up towards the sky. So this is our Tadasana position, our mountain pose. This is what we want to come back to each time that we come to standing. Good, and then on an inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up, and then exhale to fold all the way down. Good, inhale, we're going to lift halfway, just pausing here, finding this flat back position. So I find it much easier to bend my knees quite generously, and then you can really lengthen out through the lower back here. So if you've got a mirror or something at home, it can be quite useful to see, because often we think that we're in a flat back position, but we're much more like this. And just having that visual cue will help us lengthen the spine. And it's almost like you're trying to stick your butt out and keep the chest lifted a little bit. You can use the arms for support, and then you can work on straightening the legs if you want to, feeling that stretch down the backs of the thighs. Good, from here we're going to exhale, fold all the way down, planting the palms, stepping the right foot back. If you want to here, you can drop that back knee down, and you can even grab a couple of bricks, just giving yourself that bit of extra height around the chest. Good, just sinking into the hips a little bit here. Taking one more breath here. And then we're going to step all the way back for plank. Knees can be lifted or lowered here, but whichever option you're choosing, just working at tucking the tailbone under. So notice if you're like this, tucking the tailbone under, engaging the muscles around the core. And then from here, we're going to inhale and then exhale as we slowly lower down, moving with control here. Then pressing into the palms, lifting the chest, look forwards. Exhaling to lower back down. Then we're going to make our way up and back for downward dog. Just got to take my socks off. Breathing here. And our key points for downward dog. We want to be lifting the tailbone up towards the sky. And again, bending the knees is probably going to help us do that a little bit easier. And then we can work at pressing the heels towards the ground. But it doesn't matter if they're touching or anywhere close. That's just the action that will help find that length through the backs of the legs. In the hands, we want to be pressing the whole hand into the ground. Pressing the knuckles and the fingertips, trying to shift some of our weight from the wrists into the rest of our hand. Good. One more breath here. And then stepping the right foot up in between the hands, give it a little help if it needs, lifting the chest, look forwards. Again, you can come up onto blocks here, or just keeping the hands on the ground, but doing your best to keep the chest lifted. Good, and then from here, back toes tuck under, big step up to the front of the mat, forward fold. We're going to inhale, find that flat back again. Exhaling back down, and then inhale to sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, palms come to your chest. Take a second here, just catching the breath. Notice how the body feels. Good. And then we're going to take that again, but leading with the left leg, maybe moving a little bit faster, moving with the breath if we can. So we're going to inhale, sweep the arms up, exhale to fold. Inhale to lift halfway, find that flat back. Exhaling, plant the palms, left foot steps back, back knee drops down or can stay lifted here. Take a couple of breaths here, just feeling that stretch. And then planting the palms, stepping back for plank or half plank. Remembering to tuck the tailbone under, keeping the core strong. Inhale here, and then exhale, keeping the elbows hugging in towards the ribs, lowering down. Good, inhale for cobra. Exhaling back down, and then pressing up and back for downward dog. Good, we'll take a few breaths here. And know that you can take a break whenever you need to. You can come into child's pose, or just come and sit for a second. This is your practice, so do what you need. And it might feel nice to pedal out through the feet here, especially if you've been feeling quite tight. Just easing out the backs of the legs a little bit more. Good, one more breath here. And then we'll step the left foot up in between the hands, looking forwards, lifting the chest, and then big step up with that back foot forward fold. Inhale for halfway, exhaling back down, and then sweeping the arms all the way up. Exhale, palms to chest. Good, take a moment here. Nice, big, expansive breaths. Really seeing if you can feel this space between the ribs. So the ribs are moving outwards and then coming back together. Just seeing how you get on, seeing what that feels like for you. Good, and then we're going to take one more full round, so left side and then right side, just as we've done. So inhaling, sweeping the arms up, exhale to fold. Inhale for halfway, exhaling, plant the palms, right foot steps back, back knee lifted or lowered, chest forward, look forwards. Plant the palms, step back for plank or half plank. Inhale here, exhale to lower, moving as slow as you can here. Good. Inhale for cobra. Exhaling back down, and then working on this press up action to lift us up, and then back for downward dog. And again, maybe pedaling through the feet or finding stillness here, working on those points, lifting the tailbone, reaching the heels down, pressing the hands away from the ground, or into the ground, sorry. So you're pressing yourself away from the ground. And then chest is working towards the mat, opening up through the armpits and the shoulders. Good, one more breath here. And then stepping through, right foot forwards, lift the chest, look forwards. Exhaling, step up with the back foot, forward fold. Inhale for halfway. Exhaling to lower, inhale all the way up. Good, palms to the chest. Few breaths here. And really see if you can keep the mind with the practice. So notice if it wanders off, starting to think of other things. See if you can notice that, bring it back to the sensations of the body or what the breath is doing. Good, and then last time, inhaling up, exhale to fold. Inhale for halfway. Exhaling, planting the palms, left foot steps back, chest forwards, look forwards. Plant the palms, step back for plank. Inhale here, exhale to lower. Good, inhale cobra. And then lowering, pressing up, back, downward dog. And doing your best to keep the breath steady here if you can. Trying to deepen the breath, breathing down towards the belly. Good, one more breath here. And then left foot steps up, chest forwards, look forwards. Big step up, forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhaling back down and then sweeping the arms up, palms to chest. Lovely. From here, we're going to bend the knees, extend the arms, coming to chair pose. If it feels like too much with the arms extended, just bring the hands to your hips. Sinking the hips down, maybe working at bringing the knees backwards. Good. Holding here. And then I've got a few options for you. You can either stay here, or we're going to lift and lower. Working the legs, maybe sinking a little bit lower each time. Or if you want some real warming, we're going to come for some chair jumps. And you can use the arms to help you here get the momentum upwards. So you can choose what feels best for you. Good, but keep breathing wherever you are. And maybe taking 1 or 2 more breaths. And then you can come back to standing. Good, maybe shake out the legs a little bit. Catch the breath again, thinking about trying to fill this space in between the ribs. And then we're going to extend the arms one more time if that's feeling good, or keep them on your hips. Sink the hips back for chair pose. Shifting your weight into your left leg, seeing if you can pick up the right foot. And you might just keep that foot close to the floor, working on your balance. You can find something to hold on to as well if you need a little bit more support. And then seeing if we can step that right foot back all the way to a high lunge. So we're on the ball of the back foot, bending into the front knee. You can reach the arms up if that feels okay for you. Otherwise, you can keep them on your hips. And I want us to focus on trying to keep the tailbone scooping under. So it might mean that you bend this back knee a little bit more than you usually do, but that's going to mean that the stretch comes through the front of this hip, rather than the lower back compensating and just kind of following that path of least resistance, really. So bending that back knee a little bit, tucking the pelvis under. Maybe seeing if you can find that stretch through the front of the right hip. Good. Then from here, we're going to open out to goddess pose. So we're turning the feet out towards the corners of the mat, bending the knees here, and again, finding that tuck of the pelvis. You can use the hands on the thighs to support you, or you can cactus the arms here. And then we're going to keep the warming going. We're either going to jump to chair pose and then back out, or stepping towards chair pose and then back out. We're only going to take maybe 3 to 5 of these. So see how you get on. Keep breathing. Remember, we're trying to warm ourselves from the inside. Good. Then coming back to goddess pose. Straightening out through the legs, give the legs a little shake, and then turn the feet parallel to the short edge of the mat, so toes are facing forwards, hands to hips. Then we're going to come to a forward fold. Dropping the arms down, or resting them on blocks if that feels better. Letting the head hang down towards the floor, maybe just letting the head move around a little bit, easing out through the neck. And you can take the feet wider or closer together, adjust yourself as you need to. And then bringing the hands back to the hips, bending the knees, we're going to start to lift back up to standing. Good. From here, turning to the other side. So we've got right leg in front, coming to our high lunge here. And again, finding that bend of the back knee that'll let you tilt the pelvis down. Bending into the front knee, seeing if you can find that stretch through the front of the left hip. And then you can start to straighten that the back knee out and away again. but seeing if you can keep the tailbone tucked under. Extending the arms maybe if that feels good for you. And just looking out ahead in front. And then we're going to shift our weight into our front foot, seeing if we can step back towards our chair pose. Good, and then finding our balance on this side. So left foot is lifting, either keeping it close to the floor or working towards squeezing the heel towards the glute. Good, one more breath here. And then dropping the foot back down, coming to stand. Just let the arms drop down by your sides. Notice the sensation through the legs. Some nice deep breaths here. Good. And then we're going to take the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. Toes turning out towards the sides a little bit. And then we're going to drop the hips down towards Malasana. So just coming as low as is comfortable. You can have some blocks out in front if you need a bit more support. Or dropping the hips down, elbows can come to the insides of the knees. Or if you're feeling any fussiness through the knees, you can bring some blocks, sit on them, and then just bring your knees out in front. And then you can find your Malasana here. So see what works for you. Wherever you are, we're trying to keep the chest nice and open. Good, just taking one or two more breaths here. Good, and then we're gonna take away any props that you've got, come to lie down on your back. This is going to be our final pose. So get yourself comfy. You can bring a pillow under the head if you want to, but we're coming to reclined cobblers. So soles of the feet are together, knees are going out to either side. And if you want to, you can bring pillows or blocks just underneath the knees for a little bit more support. Maybe resting one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, or arms just down by your sides. Letting the breath return to normal. And just noticing how the body feels now and how you feel. Giving yourself a little bit of love, sending yourself some gratitude for taking the time to practice today. Just giving yourself this final moment to rest and relax. Unclenching the jaw, relaxing the muscles around the face. Letting the shoulders relax down into the ground, releasing the hips. And then I'm going to leave you here, so you can stay here for as long as you want to, maybe even extending the legs out, coming to Shavasana. But thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.